Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Artificial Difficulty Quest is going to be returning on August 1st, and you need to pull both Toshiro and the new Soi Fon. If you do not have Toshiro or Soi Fon, you're basically going to struggle. Now, let's see how this type of limit breaker quest will turn out. The last couple ones have been really bad in terms of when you did not have the specific units for slot 1 and sometimes even slot 2. But yeah, this one, you want to be able to get up to stage 26 to be able to clear all the rewards, and you should be able to get way more transcendence points and maybe a bit of orbs. It does state here from stage 19 onward, it will be even tougher than usual, so maybe the first 19 stages are going to be easier, but then after that, that's when it starts to be difficult. We'll just have to wait and see. But anywho, these are the rules. Slot 1 will have you faced up against technique human mobs. So the rules are going to be power attribute damage times 2, melee damage times 2, and killer effect times 5. Guess what that means? You're going to be using that one character that doesn't have guard break. Yeah, it's going to be Thousand-Year Blower Soi Fon. If you don't have her, we'll dive into the alternatives. Slot 2, the enemies are going to be mind no affiliation mobs. Rules are heart attribute damage times 2, range damage times 2, and killer effect times 5. And this will allow you to use the new Holo Bankai Toshiro. And then slot 3, enemies are speed holos, and you only have one rule, which is range damage times 2. And the best unit to use for this is pretty much the new 9th anniversary Thousand-Year Blower Gremmy. If you pull Soi Fon, you're gonna need to use her absolutely for slot 1, even though she has the main problem of not having guard break. It seems like this type of limit breaker quest they're trying to cater towards, so that way she is up against enemy mobs that don't have melee guard and aren't including that one human mob, just to make it easier for her. But in the long run, once we get another type of limit breaker quest in which we have every single type of human mob, yeah, this character is going to suffer for the longer stages of the actual quest mode itself. We're hoping that she does get guard break before the banner drops, but odds are she's just gonna release as is. But all you guys need to know is that she has the defeated enemy bonus, and matter of fact, she's gonna be really good to have, because by the time you defeat 60, the entire team party gets the strong attack recharge regardless of the attribute. That's right, so for slot 2 and 3, regardless of the attribute, you're gonna get your strong attacks back by the next map. Like, if you're gonna be using Gremmy for slot 3, after you've used all the strong attacks in stage 3, by the time you hit stage 6, you'll already have all of the strong attacks ready for Gremmy once you have defeated 60 enemy mobs with Soi Fon. So that's pretty much about it, but this is just an example. Skills are still stacked: Frenzy +2, Berserker 60, Devastation 60, with Booster, Full Stam, 80% SP boost, increased element chance against humans, and of course she does provide more Full Stam once you defeat 40, and she also has extra stamina recovery with the reduced strong attack cooldown of 6%. Keep in mind, the SA2 will now have a 16-second cooldown, so it's going to take a while to be able to get that back, and you're not going to be able to inflict elements with that, so just be wary for when it comes to using this unit. But anywho, this is the best unit to use for slot 1. Slot 2, of course, the new Toshiro is going to be fantastic. He's going to be completely flawless for what he is designed to do with Frenzy +2, Berserker 50. He also has 100% damage to frozen enemies, also an extra 20% strong attack damage from the soul trait. And yeah, he has the increased element chance, very speedy character at that, 80% SP boost, and his kit is going to be really good with the 3k length beam, seemingly to be a shock wave into explosion type of attack, basically Byakuya's SA3S but as an SA2, and then the full screen. Don't forget, you're also going to have the trap mechanic at your disposal as the EX move, so this character is going to be amazing. And then for slot 3, you're going to be using Gremmy Tum Tum. This guy's amazing, even though he's not going to have the recharge in between maps like Quincy Ichigo. He's just going to be the undisputed best choice to use just because of how cracked he is. He is the best character in the game. His kit is godly. He even has the EX move of being able to buff his allies and debuff the harder mobs, so using this is going to be really nice to your advantage. Godly kit. He has the homing vortex. is also going to be able to support Quincy's in the long run. So like once we get another limit break request and they were to feature Kilgay again as the main unit, you can use Gremmy for slot 3. So yeah. Now diving on in with the alternatives, these are going to be the units that you can use if you do not have the likes of the new Soi Fon. So let's just go and filter for a melee human killer. Just as Mashiro is going to be solid enough because she does provide enough DPS to be able to kill the enemy mobs. It's just that she's going to be ridiculously slow to use because I believe she has the 750 A-Ring front, Suction Vortex on the SA2, and then has a 1080 radius full screen, so just slightly beyond full screen, but you guys get the point. She does have 40% Berserker with Frenzy +2, more damage to status and affected enemies of 40% with 40% more damage to paralyzed enemies. I think this character can actually cook up even harder, even more so if you have the Masaki link and you do plan to use that on Mashiro, but we'll have to wait and see. This character is going to be a really good alternative to use if you do not have the new Soi Fon or you can't pull her. And that's it for when it comes to characters that share the same rules. I do not recommend the usage of Love here because he is way too underwhelming and these characters are just a no-go. But now, what about overall characters that are melee for power? Well, just this Mugetsu is going to be amazing. He is going to be missing out on the increased element chance against enemy mobs because he has it towards hollows, not everyone else. So there's that, but don't forget he is going to be able to provide the Team Party Strong Attack damage buff to all of your teammates, so he's going to be really solid to use. Already a speedy at that with Long Stride, Sprint +3, weakening on the entire kit with Frenzy, Bombardment, so you can use him to nuke. And of course, he also has extra 40% damage to weaken enemies. And let's say there are underground mobs, which I don't think so. Well, you already have that built in. 100% SP boost. This character is going to be fantastic to use. A bit more speedier than Soi Fon, but considering the rules are going to be mainly towards her, yeah, you can expect Mugetsu to do less damage than Soi Fon, guaranteed. So here is what we have for slot 2 that we can make use out of. The list is pretty bad. Kaname, he does have the 960 into homing vortex with drain on everything, but the thing is, that's just about it. He only has Frenzy +2 with 20% character strong attack damage. That's all he has, so unfortunately, he's not gonna be that crazy good, even though he fits all the rules, but if you guys have him max transcended, he can work. This Ninja is not going to be too good, and the rest of the list is pretty bad. And we go and filter for characters that are ranged no affiliation killers. Well, this is what we have available, and thankfully because the enemy mobs are mined, we can take a look at every single attribute. Asnot, he's going to struggle against the Tuther mobs, but you can use this character. Albeit you do need to proc ailments left and right, and if you do not proc an ailment against the Tarthler mobs, it's pretty much GG's. You're not going to do much. So the other real best alternative to use is going to be this Parasol Macy. Parasol Macy, funny enough, she too, just like Yuha, has the recharge when moving in between the quest areas, and has the 960 into homing vortex, but this time a lot more cracked, because she has Frenzy +2. Once you inflict the elements, you do 40% more damage to weaken and paralyzed enemies. You get the 80% SP boost. The Soul Bomb can also be quite solid to use. And of course, you get your cooldowns back when moving in between quest areas. So overall, you can use this character, and she'll actually probably be better than Kaname in this kind of case. So yeah. And then you can use 8th Annie Ichigo, but I don't think he's going to be too good because his damage is way too low. He only has Frenzy +3 with 20% full stamina damage boost, but the Poise Break will actually be quite solid to use at the end of the day. And that's it for the alternatives for slot 2. Now let's just go ahead and dive on into slot 3, where the only rule here is that you need to use a ranged character. Now obviously, because the enemy mobs are once again going to be speed, you do not want to use power characters. So the likes of Power Masaki and this failure of a limit break request character is off limits. So let's just go and filter for every single character that isn't power and see what we can work with. If you do not have Gremmy, the other good alternatives that you can use for starters, is going to be this Quincy Ichigo. Now, he is going to be a much weaker Gremmy, but if you guys have him max transcended, you can actually make good usage out of his kit because his DPS is still not that bad. He still has, like, Frenzy +2, 80% SP boost. Hold on, how much Berserker? 40%, yes, with full stam, and also gets the recharge when moving in between quest areas. The technique character strong attack damage. Like, the DPS that he offers is good. It's just the kit that is going to be on the lower side compared to Gremmy's because he only has the 18% shave and then a regular 3k length beam on the second. So that's just about it, but he does get all of his cooldowns back when moving in between the quest areas like Macy. Macy, once again, will work for slot 3, like I mentioned before, and because she is a character with the range damage multiplier, you can pretty much make easy usage out of this character right here and be completely fine as you plow through the quest. What else can we use here? Ruruka. She is going to be another fantastic Limit Breaker quest character, and funny enough, she too has the defeated enemy bonus, and she gives out more strong attack damage to the entire team once you have defeated 50 enemies with her, with a really solid kit of Frenzy +2, 80% SP boost, Long Stride. Also has weakened defense, drain on the entire kit with Siphoner, so map-wide AoE skill of being able to inflict drain, and she also has some really solid multipliers to use, so if you do not have Gremmy, this Ruruka that you might have pulled from the 9th anniversary banner will also be a really solid character to use. If you guys ask me, better than Quincy Ichigo, since the kit is just so much better. And if you do not have Ruruka, this Nanao can be solid. She does have typing advantage, just no SP boost, and she has the shave on the SA1, beam SA2. You're not proccing elements with the SA3, but does heal, so there's that. You guys can use Rengeku, but the kit is so dog water, I, at this point, would not even recommend using this character whatsoever. Even more so if you guys have the Quincy Ichigo to use over her. So, easily a big no-no. Halibut, you can somewhat use her, just that you cannot inflict ailments. Meninya, same exact thing, the swimsuit one, and Asnot, I would not really recommend using him. Bambi, not really. The barrage attack isn't really as effective in Limit Breaker quests, unfortunately, and that's pretty much it. 3rd anniversary Ulquiorra is going to be your last unit to use if you do not have any of the other alternatives that I've mentioned beforehand. Oh, and 1000 Year Blower Eisen will still be very effective to use, so there's that. Bit of a shorter video for Limit Breaker quest. I'm gonna be honest, I did not want to dive too deep because I feel like this game mode is just progressively getting worse and worse, and I am scared to see how this game mode is going to be by the time it drops on the 1st of August. So yeah, let me just say this. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one. So have a wonderful day, lads. Peace out. Bye. Sayonara. Ciao, ciao.